Letting go means recognizing the limits of our control and surrendering our worries, stress, and burdens to God, allowing us to find peace and clarity. Life has seasons, and trusting in God's timing can help us stay patient, believing that everything unfolds for a reason, even if we can't see it immediately. Often, holding on tightly stunts our growth. By letting go, we allow room for transformation and embrace the growth God intends for us. Trusting God releases us from the anxiety of uncertainty and the pressure of perfection, giving us a sense of liberation and confidence. Letting go requires faith. By trusting God, we can move beyond fear and embrace life with courage and openness to new possibilities. When we let go of our anxieties and place our faith in God, we experience a deeper sense of peace, knowing we're not alone in life's challenges. Letting God take control acknowledges that there is a wiser, greater power directing our path, often leading us to destinations better than we could imagine. Sometimes what we resist persists. By accepting circumstances and trusting in God, we can find ways forward instead of getting stuck in struggle. Letting go is a humbling act that teaches us to trust in something greater than ourselves, grounding us in humility and faith. Letting God guide us often brings clarity to our purpose and opens doors we may not have seen if we tried to control everything ourselves. Embrace surrender invites us to release our instinct to control every aspect of life and trust in a force beyond ourselves. When we surrender, we acknowledge that we don't have all the answers and that some things are simply beyond our understanding or power to change. Surrender isn't about giving up or admitting defeat. Rather, it's a conscious choice to let go of worry, fear, and the need to orchestrate outcomes. It's about finding comfort in the unknown, trusting that there is a wisdom at work in our lives, even if we cannot see it fully in the moment. When we try to control every detail, it often leads to stress and disappointment, especially when things don't go as we planned. But by embracing surrender, we shift our focus away from the need to have all the answers. Instead, we open ourselves to patience, acceptance, and the beauty of what unfolds naturally. It is a process of letting our ego take a step back and making space for humility, recognizing that we are part of a much larger picture. Surrendering allows us to experience peace, even in times of uncertainty. We no longer carry the weight of trying to manage what's beyond us. Instead, we learn to breathe through life's challenges with faith that we are being guided and that things will work out in their own time and way. Embracing surrender frees us from the cycle of overthinking and worry, grounding us in the present, and allowing us to experience life's journey with more ease and grace. This mindset can lead to greater resilience and inner strength as we learn to navigate challenges with a spirit of acceptance and trust, opening ourselves to outcomes that may surprise or inspire us in ways we hadn't considered. Trusting in divine timing involves believing that there is a higher plan at work in our lives, and that events unfold according to a schedule that is perfectly suited to our growth and well-being. This concept encourages us to have faith that everything happens for a reason, even when the reasons are not immediately clear to us. When we trust in divine timing, we accept that our lives are guided by a wisdom greater than our own, which orchestrates circumstances in ways that ultimately serve our highest good. We find ourselves eager to see results quickly, whether it's in our careers, relationships, personal goals, or spiritual journeys. This impatience can lead to frustration, anxiety, and a sense of urgency that detracts from our overall peace and satisfaction. By embracing divine timing, we learn to let go of the constant need to rush or force outcomes, and instead, we cultivate patience and resilience. This trust allows us to remain calm and composed, even when faced with delays or unexpected detours, understanding that these are integral parts of our path. Divine timing also teaches us to recognize the importance of the present moment. When we are not fixated on a specific timeline, we become more attuned to the opportunities and lessons that are available to us right now. This heightened awareness enables us to make the most of each situation, fostering personal growth and deeper connections with others. It shifts our focus from what we lack or what is missing to what is abundant and present in our lives. In times of waiting or anticipation, whether for a job opportunity, a relationship to develop, or a personal breakthrough, divine timing reassures us that the right moment will arrive when it is meant to. This assurance helps us maintain hope and optimism, even when progress seems slow or invisible. It encourages us to continue striving toward our goals without becoming discouraged, trusting that our efforts are being guided and that the fruition of our desires will occur at the most appropriate and beneficial time. Relinquishing control for growth means allowing ourselves to step back from the need to dictate every outcome and letting life guide us toward experiences that foster transformation. Growth often comes when we release the tight grip on what we think should happen, opening ourselves to what could be. Holding on to control can keep us confined to a narrow perspective, limiting our ability to adapt, learn, and evolve. When we loosen this hold, we embrace the unknown and in doing so create space for growth in ways we might never have anticipated. In our pursuit of goals or ideal scenarios, we tend to rely on plans and expectations that seem reliable and familiar. We convince ourselves that if we control every step, success or happiness is guaranteed. However, life is full of surprises, and rigidly adhering to these plans can blind us to opportunities for deeper learning and unexpected success. Relinquishing control invites us to let go of rigid plans and instead lean into curiosity, allowing growth to arise naturally as we encounter new experiences. This shift encourages us to move beyond our comfort zones and embrace new perspectives, skills, and relationships that can transform our lives. By giving up control, we learn resilience and adaptability. When we let go of the need for things to unfold in a specific way, we build the flexibility to adjust to whatever circumstances arise, learning to navigate change with grace. Growth often comes from challenges, detours, and even failures. Releasing control allows us to see these as valuable learning opportunities rather than setbacks, cultivating a mindset that is open to growth and self-improvement. Each experience, whether anticipated or unexpected, adds to our wisdom, shaping us into more resilient, capable, and empathetic individuals. Relinquishing control also allows us to tap into our inner strength and potential. When we trust life's process instead of micromanaging it, we learn to trust ourselves. As we confront uncertainty and respond to situations that are out of our hands, we discover resources within ourselves, creativity, patience, perseverance that might otherwise remain dormant. Growth, in this sense, is an awakening of our true capabilities. By surrendering our hold on every detail, we allow these inner qualities to come to the surface, enriching our lives and equipping us to handle challenges with newfound confidence. In the journey of personal development, relinquishing control is not about passivity or indifference. Instead, it is an act of courage and faith in the process of growth. By stepping back, we allow life to teach us lessons that only arise when we release our preconceived notions and plans. We embrace a flow that aligns with our true potential, leading us to unexpected but meaningful growth. In letting go, we allow ourselves to be transformed by life itself, emerging stronger, wiser, and more attuned to our purpose. Finding freedom in faith means experiencing liberation from the anxieties, doubts, and fears that often weigh us down. When we place our trust in something greater than ourselves, whether that be a divine presence, a guiding force, or simply a sense of purpose, we let go of the need to control every detail of our lives. Faith allows us to see beyond our immediate challenges, offering a perspective that is grounded in hope and trust. With faith, we come to understand that we don't have to have all the answers, nor do we need to know exactly how every situation will unfold. This freedom brings a sense of lightness as we release the constant worry over things beyond our control. Faith invites us to surrender our fears and doubts, replacing them with trust that life has a way of working itself out. This does not mean that hardships won't come our way, but with faith, we are better equipped to face them without feeling overwhelmed. Rather than being paralyzed by fear or uncertainty, we find courage in the belief that we are supported, guided, and protected on our journey. Faith becomes a source of strength that we can rely on, especially in moments of doubt, giving us the freedom to pursue our dreams, make decisions, and take risks without being consumed by what-ifs. This freedom and faith extends to the way we see ourselves and our place in the world. Often we feel pressure to live up to certain expectations or societal standards, which can create an internal struggle and limit our sense of self-worth. Faith, however, encourages us to see ourselves through a different lens, one that recognizes our intrinsic value, purpose, and uniqueness. By embracing faith, we release the need to prove ourselves according to external measures. Instead, we are free to be our authentic selves, knowing that our worth is not conditional but inherent. This shift allows us to live more freely and fully embracing who we are without judgment or self-doubt. Faith also brings freedom from past regrets and future anxieties. Many of us carry burdens from past mistakes or missed opportunities, as well as worries about what the future holds. These thoughts can weigh heavily on our minds, keeping us from fully living in the present. In faith, however, we find forgiveness and acceptance and understanding that we are all imperfect and that each experience, whether good or bad, contributes to our growth. Faith encourages us to let go of guilt and self-blame, trusting that we can always start anew and that the future holds possibilities beyond what we can imagine. This acceptance frees us from the grip of past and future, allowing us to fully engage with the here and now. The freedom found in faith is also a freedom from loneliness. Life can be isolating at times, especially when we feel that no one understands our struggles. Faith reminds us that we are never truly alone. It connects us to a larger whole, reminding us of our place within a greater spiritual or cosmic order. This sense of belonging brings comfort and reassurance, helping us face life's challenges with a spirit of companionship and community. With faith, we feel that we are part of something larger than ourselves, which gives us the strength to persevere and the comfort of knowing that we are supported, even if we cannot see it. To find freedom in faith is to live with an open heart, unburdened by fear, doubt, and insecurity. It is a journey toward inner peace and resilience, where we come to realize that we are supported, loved, and guided. This freedom allows us to embrace life in its entirety with trust that whatever comes our way, we are capable of navigating it with courage, grace, and hope. Overcoming fear with trust involves building a foundation of confidence that helps us face uncertainty and adversity with a calm and steady heart. Fear often arises from the unknown, from the aspects of life we cannot control or predict. When we confront situations where outcomes are uncertain, fear naturally appears, causing stress and sometimes even paralysis. Yet with trust, we are able to look beyond the fear, to see challenges not as threats but as opportunities to grow, learn, and deepen our resilience. Trust allows us to step forward, even when we don't have all the answers, with a conviction that things will work out, or that we will find a way to handle whatever comes our way. Trust begins with an internal decision to believe in ourselves and, if we are spiritually inclined, in a higher power or guiding presence. This belief anchors us, creating a sense of stability that fear cannot easily shake. Trusting in ourselves means acknowledging our own strengths, abilities, and past successes, recognizing that we have already overcome many obstacles in life. This self-trust becomes a reminder that we are capable of handling more than we might initially think. By grounding ourselves in our own inner strength, we cultivate a sense of courage that enables us to push through fear, taking meaningful action even in the face of uncertainty. Trust also grows when we learn to accept that not everything in life needs to be controlled or understood. When we trust that life has a natural flow and that outcomes will unfold as they are meant to, we release the need to micromanage every detail. Fear often stems from the idea that if we don't have absolute control, things will go wrong. But with trust, we acknowledge that we don't need to control everything to be safe or successful. Letting go of this compulsion brings peace and freedom, allowing us to relax and focus on the present, rather than being consumed by fears of what might happen. Building trust involves cultivating patience, as it teaches us to wait for things to unfold at their own pace. Fear pushes us toward rash decisions and impulsive actions in an attempt to gain quick security, but trust encourages us to move mindfully and intentionally. By being patient, we give ourselves the space to make decisions from a place of clarity rather than fear. We come to understand that trust and patience go hand in hand, allowing us to remain steady, even in times of turbulence, because we believe that things are unfolding in their own time and way for our growth and benefit. Another essential aspect of overcoming fear with trust is learning to rely on others. Fear often leads us to feel isolated, as if we have to face challenges on our own. Trust reminds us that we are not alone, that we have people around us, family, friends, mentors who can support us. Reaching out to others for guidance, reassurance, or simply a listening ear helps to break down the walls of fear. By leaning on others, we strengthen our belief that we don't have to carry every burden by ourselves. This shared trust creates a safety net, a reminder that we are part of a larger network of support that will be there when we need it most. Trust also requires a mindset shift, moving from scarcity to abundance. Fear tends to focus on what we might lose or lack, causing us to cling tightly to the things we have, even if they're no longer serving us. When we adopt a trust-based perspective, we begin to see the world as abundant, full of possibilities and opportunities. This change in perspective helps us to let go of fear-based thinking as we come to believe that even if we experience setbacks, there will be new chances, new pathways, and new resources available to us. This abundance mindset frees us from fear's grip, giving us the courage to pursue our dreams without feeling limited by a fear of failure. In times of hardship, trust acts as an anchor that keeps us steady. Challenges and obstacles are unavoidable in life, and fear can quickly take over when we feel that we're being pushed beyond our limits. But with trust, we find strength and reassurance in the belief that hardships are temporary and that we have the resilience to overcome them. Trust reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there is a path forward. This belief fuels our determination and helps us to keep moving no matter how difficult the journey may be. In essence, overcoming fear with trust is about cultivating a mindset that values courage over worry, acceptance over control, and patience over urgency. It allows us to face life with an open and resilient heart, ready to tackle challenges, embrace change, and live with a sense of freedom and confidence that fear alone cannot provide. Trust becomes our guide, illuminating a path forward and empowering us to live without being held back by the limitations that fear imposes. It gives us the power to act with conviction, to believe in the future, and to move through life with an enduring sense of hope and possibility. Cultivating inner peace is a journey toward creating a calm, centered state within ourselves, regardless of external circumstances. Inner peace is a deep-rooted sense of tranquility that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. It is not simply the absence of stress or conflict, rather, it's a profound state of mental, emotional, and spiritual harmony. Achieving inner peace requires a commitment to nurturing the mind, calming the heart, and connecting to a higher sense of purpose. By cultivating this inner peace, we equip ourselves to handle challenges and uncertainty with greater composure, allowing us to live more fully and authentically. One of the first steps to cultivating inner peace is learning to quiet the mind. Our minds are often cluttered with a constant stream of thoughts, worries, and concerns, which can leave us feeling overwhelmed and restless. Practicing mindfulness or meditation can help us become more aware of these thoughts without being controlled by them. When we learn to observe our thoughts rather than reacting to them, we gain a sense of detachment that brings clarity and calm. This practice allows us to release unnecessary mental clutter, creating a space within ourselves where we can experience true stillness. As we learn to quiet the mind, we become better equipped to handle life's challenges with a clearer perspective and a more balanced approach. In cultivating inner peace, it is also essential to release attachment to outcomes. Often, our inner turmoil stems from our expectations and desires, which create a cycle of stress and disappointment when things don't go as planned. By letting go of the need to control or predict every outcome, we free ourselves from the tension that comes with trying to force life into a certain shape. This surrender doesn't mean giving up, rather, it's a conscious choice to allow life to unfold naturally. When we release attachment, we find that peace comes from within, unaffected by the temporary gains or losses of the outside world. This detachment creates a sense of liberation, allowing us to experience life with a spirit of acceptance and ease. Forgiveness is another essential element of cultivating inner peace. Holding on to grudges, resentment, or regret creates an emotional burden that weighs heavily on our minds and hearts. By choosing to forgive, whether it's others or ourselves, we let go of the negative energy that disrupts our inner balance. Forgiveness is not about excusing wrongdoing, it is about freeing ourselves from the chains of anger or guilt. When we forgive, we make room for healing, allowing our hearts to open and our spirits to be at peace. This act of release clears the way for a more compassionate, understanding outlook, where we can focus on the present rather than being stuck in past pain. Living in the present moment is crucial for inner peace. When we dwell too much on the past or worry excessively about the future, we rob ourselves of the joy and beauty of the present. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to be fully present, appreciating each moment as it comes. This present-focused approach reduces stress, as we're not burdened by regrets or anxieties that are beyond our control. Instead, we engage with life as it is happening, finding joy in small, simple moments. Living in the present helps us connect with our inner self, bringing a sense of peace and fulfillment that does not rely on external circumstances. Another powerful aspect of inner peace is self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics, constantly judging ourselves for mistakes or shortcomings. This self-criticism creates a cycle of negativity that disrupts our inner tranquility. By practicing self-compassion, we learn to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, recognizing that we are human and inherently imperfect. Self-compassion allows us to embrace our flaws and failures without letting them define us. It nurtures a sense of self-acceptance that frees us from the constant pressure to be perfect. With self-compassion, we cultivate a gentle, loving relationship with ourselves, creating a foundation of peace that is unshaken by external judgments. Building inner peace also involves creating healthy boundaries. Often we experience stress and turmoil because we allow ourselves to be overly influenced by the demands and expectations of others. By establishing clear boundaries, we protect our own energy and well-being, ensuring that we do not become overwhelmed by external pressures. Healthy boundaries allow us to honor our own needs and values, fostering a sense of integrity and self-respect. When we are clear about our limits and communicate them with others, we create a space for inner peace to thrive, free from the influence of negativity or toxic relationships. Cultivating inner peace is not just about personal well-being, it also enhances our relationships with others. When we are at peace with ourselves, we are better equipped to approach our interactions with compassion, patience, and understanding. This inner calm helps us to respond rather than react, to listen rather than judge, and to empathize rather than criticize. Inner peace radiates outward, creating a positive and harmonious energy that influences those around us. As we nurture peace within ourselves, we contribute to a more peaceful, supportive environment for others, strengthening our connections and enriching our relationships. In the journey toward cultivating inner peace, we discover that true tranquility comes from within. It is a process of letting go, accepting, and connecting to ourselves on a deeper level. Inner peace does not eliminate life's challenges, but it transforms the way we experience them. It gives us the strength to remain calm in the storm, to face difficulties with courage, and to live each moment with a sense of contentment and harmony. This inner peace becomes a guiding light, illuminating a path of resilience, compassion, and joy that enhances every aspect of our lives. Seeing God as the ultimate guide means trusting in a divine source of wisdom that surpasses human understanding. In life, we often face questions, challenges, and uncertainties that can leave us feeling overwhelmed or lost. Having God as our ultimate guide provides a profound sense of direction and assurance, reminding us that we are not navigating the complexities of life alone. Trusting God's guidance means believing that there is a purpose behind every moment, whether joyous or challenging, and that we are being led toward growth, fulfillment, and inner peace. Viewing God as our guide requires a relationship built on faith and openness. This relationship invites us to listen, seek, and remain receptive to insights that may come in unexpected ways. It may be through prayer, moments of silence, or experiences that touch our hearts, where we feel a sense of divine wisdom guiding us toward our best selves. This guidance often goes beyond logical reasoning or our own limited perspective, offering a broader, more compassionate view that aligns with a higher purpose. In times of confusion, turning to God as our guide means surrendering our need for immediate answers and allowing a deeper understanding to unfold over time. One of the most beautiful aspects of seeing God as the ultimate guide is the sense of reassurance it brings. Life is filled with uncertainties, from decisions about career and relationships to questions about our own purpose and direction. When we believe that God is guiding us, we find comfort in the knowledge that there is a plan larger than our own. This divine plan is not always visible, and it may not align with our immediate desires, but trusting in God's guidance allows us to let go of fear and rest in the faith that we are being led in the right direction. This trust becomes a source of strength, helping us face even the most difficult situations with a calm heart and resilient spirit. God's guidance also invites us to grow in virtues such as patience, humility, and resilience. When we rely on divine guidance, we learn that life does not always follow our timelines or plans. Sometimes we are asked to wait, to reflect, or to take paths that are unfamiliar or uncomfortable. This process teaches us patience, helping us to cultivate a steady and enduring faith. We learn that growth often comes through challenges, and that true resilience is found in our ability to trust and persevere, even when we cannot see the entire path ahead. God, as the ultimate guide, gently encourages us to look within ourselves, to recognize our strengths, and to move forward with humility, knowing that we are part of a larger story unfolding. God's guidance is often reflected in the inner peace and clarity that come when we are aligned with a higher purpose. There is a deep sense of fulfillment that comes from living in accordance with divine guidance as we feel that our actions and decisions are part of something meaningful and valuable. This alignment with God's will fosters a sense of inner calm, even in the face of external turmoil. We are no longer driven by the need to control every outcome or to seek approval from others, as our choices are rooted in a sense of spiritual integrity. This clarity allows us to focus on what truly matters, releasing distractions and finding joy in serving others, nurturing relationships, and contributing to the world in positive ways. God as the ultimate guide also fosters a sense of compassion and empathy. Divine guidance is not only about our individual paths, but also about how we relate to others and the world around us. When we seek God's direction, we are often led toward kindness, generosity, and understanding. This guidance encourages us to see the divine in others, to treat people with respect and dignity, and to reach out in service to those in need. By following God's example of love and compassion, we contribute to a more harmonious and supportive world, becoming vessels of peace and positivity in our communities. God's guidance helps us rise above judgment and criticism, focusing instead on empathy and connection. Another powerful element of viewing God as the ultimate guide is the courage it instills in us. Life frequently requires us to step into the unknown, take risks, or confront fears that hold us back. With God as our guide, we are able to move forward with greater confidence, knowing that we are not alone in these endeavors. This divine companionship emboldens us to face challenges head-on, trusting that we will receive the strength and wisdom we need along the way. When we look to God for guidance, we gain the courage to pursue our dreams, to grow beyond our comfort zones, and to live in alignment with our deepest values, even if the path is difficult or unconventional. In a world filled with distractions and pressures, having God as our guide centers us, giving us a compass that points us toward truth, compassion, and integrity. And this divine guidance provides a sense of purpose that goes beyond material achievements, directing us toward a life that is rich in love, service, and self-awareness. Whether we are celebrating successes or enduring difficulties, God's guidance is a constant source of support and inspiration, reminding us that we are loved, cherished, and led on a path that serves our highest good. God, as the ultimate guide, encourages us to live with an open heart, to trust in a plan greater than ourselves, and to walk through life with faith and purpose. This divine guidance is always available to us, whether we seek it through prayer, reflection, or moments of quiet contemplation. As we cultivate a relationship with God, we become more attuned to the wisdom, compassion, and peace that come from following a path aligned with divine love. Embracing God as our guide allows us to live fully and freely, knowing that we are supported, directed, and led with a love that surpasses all understanding. This trust transforms our lives, filling them with hope, gratitude, and a profound sense of peace as we journey forward, hand in hand with the divine. Choosing acceptance over resistance is a transformative shift in mindset that allows us to embrace life's circumstances with grace, rather than fighting against them. Resistance often stems from our desire to control situations, avoid discomfort, or reject things that don't align with our expectations or desires. We tend to resist change, the unknown, and even the pain of personal growth, hoping that if we push hard enough, we can avoid or manipulate our experiences. However, this resistance often creates more suffering than peace. In contrast, acceptance is an act of surrender, a conscious decision to let go of the struggle and instead find peace with what is. It's the understanding that some things are beyond our control, and trying to resist them only keeps us stuck in a cycle of frustration, anxiety, and stagnation. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or resignation, rather, it is a powerful and active choice to acknowledge the present moment as it is, without judgment. It means recognizing that every experience, whether positive or negative, has something valuable to teach us. By accepting the reality of a situation, we stop wasting energy fighting against what we cannot change and instead focus on what we can control: our reactions, our attitude, and our mindset. Resistance to life's challenges often stems from fear of failure, fear of change, or fear of not being good enough. In accepting what is, we release the grip of that fear and allow ourselves to move through life with a sense of peace and clarity, even in the face of adversity. When we accept a situation, we are not surrendering to defeat or giving up hope. Instead, we are freeing ourselves from the emotional and mental turmoil that resistance creates. The act of acceptance is liberating because it removes the internal struggle. It allows us to acknowledge our feelings, our circumstances, and the challenges in front of us without the added layer of judgment or denial. For example, if we are facing an unexpected setback in life, resistance might prompt us to dwell on anger, blame, or self-pity. Acceptance, however, encourages us to look at the situation objectively, understand what it is, and then ask ourselves how we can adapt, grow, or move forward from it. Resistance often keeps us focused on what we don't want, which can lead to more frustration and a lack of progress. We may focus on the negative aspects of a situation, replaying them in our minds and amplifying our dissatisfaction. Acceptance, on the other hand, shifts our focus to what we can learn from the experience. It creates space for new perspectives and possibilities to emerge. For instance, when we accept a loss or failure, instead of feeling stuck in regret, we can begin to reflect on what the experience taught us. Acceptance opens the door for growth, while resistance traps us in a cycle of negativity. A key part of acceptance is the willingness to let go of the need for things to always be comfortable or convenient. Resistance often arises when we encounter discomfort, whether physical, emotional, or psychological. We resist pain, uncertainty, and the unknown because they challenge our sense of safety and security. However, life is inherently unpredictable, and comfort is often an illusion. By accepting that discomfort and change are natural parts of life, we can learn to navigate them with greater ease. Acceptance allows us to face fear, grief, and difficulty without feeling overwhelmed by them. It teaches us that pain, while unpleasant, is not the enemy, it is a part of the process of growth and transformation. Another aspect of choosing acceptance over resistance is the realization that we are not meant to control everything. Life is full of uncertainties, and no matter how much we plan or prepare, some things will always be out of our hands. Resistance comes when we try to force the world to conform to our desires or expectations. Acceptance, on the other hand, invites us to trust in the flow of life. It teaches us that not everything needs to be controlled or understood right away. By accepting the unpredictability of life, we can learn to flow with it, adapting to change rather than fighting it. This openness leads to a sense of peace as we no longer feel the need to fight for control, but instead trust that things will unfold as they should. Acceptance also creates space for gratitude. When we resist our circumstances, we are often focused on what we lack or what is wrong. But when we practice acceptance, we open ourselves to seeing the blessings and lessons that are present in every situation. Even in moments of hardship, there is something to be grateful for, whether it's the opportunity to learn, the strength we develop, or the support of others. Acceptance helps us to find peace with where we are, and in doing so, we begin to appreciate the journey rather than focusing solely on the destination. It allows us to live in the present moment without the weight of regret for the past or anxiety about the future. In relationships, acceptance plays a vital role in fostering harmony and understanding. We are all different, and when we resist or try to change those around us, it creates tension and conflict. By accepting others as they are with their imperfections and unique qualities, we create an atmosphere of respect and love. We stop expecting people to fit into preconceived molds and instead allow them to be themselves. This acceptance builds trust, strengthens bonds, and allows for deeper connections. Humility and faith are two virtues that are deeply interconnected, each supporting and strengthening the other in profound ways. Humility is the ability to recognize and embrace our limitations, acknowledging that we do not have all the answers or control over every circumstance. Faith, on the other hand, is the trust and belief in something greater than ourselves, whether that is God, a higher power, or the fundamental belief in the goodness and order of the universe. When combined, humility and faith create a powerful foundation for personal growth, spiritual development, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Humility is often misunderstood as weakness or self-deprecation, but it is actually a strength that allows us to live authentically and open ourselves to learning and growth. Humility involves recognizing that we are not the center of the universe and that there are greater forces at play. It invites us to step back from our egos and self-centered desires and to approach life with a sense of reverence and openness. Humility is not about diminishing ourselves, but rather about embracing our inherent worth while acknowledging our human imperfections. It is the quiet recognition that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves, and that we have much to learn from others and from life itself. When we approach life with humility, we become more receptive to the lessons that come our way. We are able to listen more deeply, learn from our mistakes, and accept help from others without feeling threatened or defensive. Humility allows us to release the need for validation and praise, which can often keep us trapped in a cycle of comparison and insecurity. Instead, humility frees us to live more peacefully with ourselves, as we no longer feel the need to prove our worth or compete for status. Humility gives us the courage to embrace vulnerability, allowing us to grow, evolve, and connect more authentically with others. Faith complements humility by offering a deeper sense of trust and surrender. While humility teaches us to recognize our limitations, faith empowers us to trust that there is a purpose in everything, even when we don't understand it. Faith is the belief that despite our uncertainties and challenges, we are being guided toward a greater good. It is a belief in something higher, whether it's a divine presence, the natural order of the universe, or the power of love and compassion. Faith gives us the strength to face adversity with hope and resilience, knowing that there is a greater plan at work. In times of difficulty, humility allows us to acknowledge our helplessness and the limits of our control, while faith gives us the strength to trust that we are not alone in our struggles. It is easy to become overwhelmed by life's challenges when we believe that we must face them on our own. But faith reminds us that there is a higher power, a sense of purpose, or a divine plan that is always present, even when we cannot see it. Faith gives us the courage to surrender our need for control and to trust that we are being guided toward a solution, even when the path ahead is unclear. Humility and faith also go hand in hand in fostering gratitude. When we are humble, we recognize that we are not entitled to anything and that everything we have is a gift. This recognition leads to a heart of gratitude as we see the beauty and blessings in the ordinary moments of life. Humility allows us to appreciate what we have rather than focusing on what we lack or what we believe we deserve. Faith deepens this sense of gratitude as we trust that every experience, whether joyful or painful, has a purpose and a lesson for our growth. Gratitude, born from humility and faith, shifts our perspective from one of lack and scarcity to one of abundance and fulfillment. Humility and faith also influence our relationships with others. When we approach others with humility, we let go of pride and ego, allowing space for empathy, kindness, and understanding. Humility enables us to see the inherent value in others, regardless of their status, wealth, or achievements. It encourages us to listen without judgment, to offer help without expecting anything in return, and to be present with others in their struggles and joys. Faith, in turn, gives us the belief that everyone has a divine purpose, and that our relationships are guided by a higher power. This belief fosters love and compassion as we trust that we are all part of a greater whole, each contributing to the unfolding of the universe in unique and important ways. In moments of doubt or struggle, humility and faith together remind us to lean on each other and to trust that we are supported by both the people around us and the divine presence within us. Humility helps us to let go of the need for perfection and control in our relationships, while faith allows us to trust that we are all interconnected, guided by love, and that our actions have a ripple effect in the world. By cultivating both humility and faith, we create a foundation of trust and compassion that strengthens our relationships and helps us navigate the complexities of life with grace. Rediscovering purpose and direction is a powerful journey that many of us face at various points in our lives. It can be triggered by a life-changing event, a period of dissatisfaction, or a deep desire to align more closely with our core values. Our purpose is not something fixed or static, but a living, evolving force that guides our decisions, behaviors, and the way we engage with the world. However, over time, we can lose sight of it due to distractions, external pressures, or the relentless pace of daily life. The process of rediscovering purpose involves stepping back, reflecting on what truly matters, and making conscious choices that lead us back to our authentic path. One of the first steps in rediscovering purpose is reflecting on what brought us fulfillment in the past. This may involve looking back at moments in life when we felt truly alive, energized, and aligned with our values. These moments could be connected to our passions, our relationships, or the work we did. Often, these reflections reveal patterns that point to what truly brings us a sense of meaning. The challenge is to recognize and honor these moments, acknowledging how they can inform and shape the next chapter of our lives. Rediscovering purpose requires us to ask ourselves deep questions: what excites me? What makes me feel like I'm contributing to something bigger than myself? What do I value most? The process of reconnecting with our purpose often begins with an inward journey. In a world filled with external noise and expectations, it can be difficult to hear our true calling. We may have internalized societal pressures, family expectations, or even past experiences that led us to prioritize goals that aren't aligned with our authentic selves. Rediscovering purpose involves quieting the mind and making space for introspection. This requires vulnerability, being willing to confront parts of ourselves that we may have ignored, dismissed, or been afraid to face. It involves asking uncomfortable questions about our desires, our fears, and our passions. Only through self-awareness and honesty can we uncover what truly drives us. Rediscovering purpose also requires letting go of the fear that can accompany change. Often we resist the idea of redirecting our path because we fear the unknown or doubt our ability to make a change. We may feel stuck in routines or responsibilities that no longer serve us, but the fear of stepping into something new holds us back. Rediscovery requires the courage to embrace new opportunities, to release old narratives that no longer fit, and to trust that we are capable of creating a life that is aligned with our true purpose. This journey of courage may involve taking small steps or making bold decisions, but it begins with the willingness to open ourselves to possibilities beyond what we can currently see. Rediscovering purpose is not about finding a singular, permanent goal or destination, but about learning to live with intention and alignment. We often think of purpose as a fixed career, a singular accomplishment, or a clear-cut mission. While these things can certainly contribute to a sense of purpose, true purpose is about living in a way that is consistent with who we are at our core, and that brings fulfillment. Purpose is found in the choices we make each day, the way we treat others, the work we engage in, the passions we nurture, and the values we uphold. It is the integration of our deepest beliefs with our actions. In the process of rediscovering purpose, it is essential to reconnect with our passions. What we are passionate about can serve as a compass, pointing us toward what matters most. Our passions often hold the key to our deeper sense of meaning and fulfillment. Whether it's an activity, a cause, or a way of being, our passions reveal where our heart is truly engaged. However, as life becomes busy, we can lose touch with these passions. Rediscovering purpose involves creating space to engage with what excites us, whether it's creative endeavors, physical activities, helping others, or exploring new ideas. By reconnecting with our passions, we reignite the spark that fuels purpose and direction. Rediscovery also requires acknowledging and accepting our current circumstances. Many times we feel disconnected from our purpose because we are not in the life situation we imagined. Perhaps our career has shifted, or our relationships have changed, or we find ourselves in a place of personal or professional transition. Rather than resisting where we are, rediscovery asks us to accept our present as a starting point for what's next. Accepting the present moment without judgment allows us to create from a place of clarity and intention. This doesn't mean we are resigned to our situation, but that we are ready to make intentional decisions from where we stand, using our current experience as a stepping stone toward greater fulfillment. Rediscovery often involves setting aside our attachment to outcomes. When we become too focused on specific results or achievements, we can lose sight of the process and the personal growth that comes from pursuing purpose. Rediscovering purpose is about enjoying the journey, learning from each step, and allowing ourselves to evolve. It's about engaging fully with life as it is, with all its unpredictability and challenges. When we release our attachment to a particular outcome, we are free to explore new paths, to take risks, and to pursue new dreams without the fear of failure. Rediscovery becomes a continual process of learning, growth, and self-discovery. The path of rediscovery often requires support from others. While this journey is deeply personal, it can be enriching to share it with others who are on their own paths of self-discovery. Community, whether through family, friends, mentors, or spiritual guides, can provide insights, encouragement, and perspectives that may not have occurred to us alone. Being part of a supportive environment helps us stay grounded, motivated, and inspired as we navigate the ups and downs of life's journey. Rediscovering purpose is not a solitary endeavor, but one that is strengthened by the connections we create with others who share similar values and aspirations. Rediscovering purpose is an ongoing process and journey of learning, growing, and evolving. It is not about reaching a fixed destination, but about living with direction, passion, and meaning. By staying true to ourselves, embracing change, and trusting the process, we can rediscover purpose in every moment, every choice, and every experience.